who should be in a jail. When people say he's done something that goes beyond the pale, he will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, to say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten. Hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. Object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Stop the testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. An administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Boxes of documents stacked floor to the wall. Top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Downtown tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't need. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A payout in secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag cause he was much shorter. If you can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win. we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run D.C. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shall not today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, well, numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now live to Liberal Dan. Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic, he'll vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue of Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish face laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, 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 and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name. On Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.
Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk comes to left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. 'Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right.
welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio. It's Talk to the Left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Berman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. We'll be opening up the phone lines in a few seconds. I'm just going to do an open line show. We're not really going to do anything. We're just going to kind of hang out and chat for a little bit, I think. I really, not too much planned between last night and today. Didn't really do much of anything in the show prep, so we can go through news and stuff and kind of comment on things. I mean, I did see some more horrific ICE things, you know, them going into a nutritional, like, granola bar factory or something like that. Didn't follow the word of the warrant at all, and apparently went into the women's room and busted open a stall and forced a woman to pull up her pants, you know, before I guess she was finished or whatever, just to, you know, do their horrible, pathetic bullying ICE tactics. So there's of course that going on, but that's going on every day. So anyway, on slightly unfortunate news, I was talking about how I threw in the brisket at 6 p.m. or whatever yesterday and had it was going good, it was smelling good. And then sometime between the time I went to sleep around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and when I woke up around 10 o'clock in the morning, the oven had shut off, even though we didn't shut the oven off. So because that happened, there's no way for me to tell whether or not the meat was safe or not. So that is one lost brisket into the trash. So unfortunately for me, Kimchi says puff puff past the Yule blunt on the left-hand side. Pass the Dochi on the left-hand side. I may have some, not blunt commentary, but, you know, I might have partaken in a little bit of something else earlier, too. Some a little more, maybe a little more mellow than the last show. Though, who knows what'll happen if we get people coming in and, like, Manimal J, was it? Anyway, shouts out to Orvillaby over in the Twitch chat. Thank you for joining. Over on YouTube, I see Dawn, Rick, Mike, Teresa. Good to see you. Let's see, who else? Jeff from just north of Uranus. The Goddess Kimchi is in the chat. Jolie, one half of the best mod squad on the planet, is here. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates. And if you don't celebrate, Happy Yule Festivus for the rest of us, etc., etc., etc. So... Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Are you doing a Mike Tyson thing or just saying Christ myth? Like, as in, you know, a lack of belief that it's there. Either way, it works. Let's go ahead. Let's shut that audio down. Put the call-in number up. I don't know why that is not showing up as it used to. It's weird. There you go. That's better. Now it's over the text. It's not as faded as it was just a few seconds ago. I guess I had changed some setting when I was setting up one of the images that was going to be, I was showing, I think it was the infographic that I made for reading off how crappy Trump had been, which, you know, you could make several infographics about that. So I figured it was the second 250 kilo ohm, but thank you, 250 kilo ohm, for joining us. Appreciate you. Let's see. Jolie says, my son's fiance got me a hat with and shirt with Evil Wizard on it. Nice, very cool. I'm wearing another Christmas movie shirt. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. So, which of course has everyone's, you know, least favorite president. Although I guess not everyone's least favorite president. Yeah. But anyway, if you want to call into the show, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. Hey, Troll Slayer, good to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Kevin! Yeah. Let's just pull up just Google News. We can go over some of the news that pops up in the feed. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We struck Nigeria, supposedly attacking Islamic State militants. And maybe they are. Maybe they're, you know, attacking that or whatever. What state? What do you mean, what state? Like, what state's the area code? The area code, I think, comes out of California, because I could pick my own number from whatever it is. So I had to find I needed to I wanted to find something that made the show that seemed like it was fitting for the show. When I was able to find Lib Dan, I was like, okay, we're taking that one. I don't care if it's in California. So, see what else. California's getting flooded. Coast Guard tracks down runaway oil tanker linked to Iran and Venezuela. Fun. Merry Christmas to all caught oil tanker. What else? What's the new? What news does Google think I should want to learn about? More than 1 million Epstein-related documents discovered. I wonder if they're going to be discovered and then redacted, and using redacted because apparently they don't know how to redact, and you could just unredact it by copying and pasting it in a notepad. So anyway, what else? I'll open that for later. Oh yeah, JD Vance went to do some Navy SEAL cosplay. He said it whooped his butt. He said he got hit by a freight train is how he feels. I wouldn't be able to expect most people who aren't doing that to be able to handle a Navy SEAL exercise regimen or whatever. But I mean, these people think that they're the God's gift to women when they're, I don't know about what kind of gift that is, but it would definitely one that would be returned tomorrow at the department store. See, I heard Putin murdered more in Ukraine. Putin's gonna Putin, right? So, 562 libdan1, 562 libdan1, 562 542 3261 to join the show. Remember that we do have whatchamacallit. Let me put the links up there again. And put that there. We do have the link to the new Liberal Dan Radio merch store. So you can go ahead if you would like and check out the shirts we have. We of course have the Al Gore rhythm shirts. Al Gore needs a rhythm. We have the FDTs, and we also have the man of La MAGA on a sticker or on a shirt. So there's what the FDT looks like. There's the image for the man of La MAGA. There's the Al Gore needs more rhythm, like the warning label. And there's darker colored and lighter colored shirts depending on what background you pick. You have a better font for the man of La MAGA there. So anyway, the man of La MAGA shirt was fun to make, and I love that we came up with that just live on the show, and then boom, made a shirt a little bit later that day. Let's see. I didn't seal the bag of kimchi. My fridge smells amazing, I bet. But yeah. And if you missed it when I was first coming in, because some people strolled in a little late. My brisket died. I don't know when the oven turned off in the middle of the night, but the oven turned off in the middle of the night, and as such, I don't have the $80 spent on brisket was out the window now, which sucks. Hey Jojo Mojo. Let's see, kimchi. I actually smell like YSL Laham today. Fabulous. Anyway. Christmas kisses just for Kevin, or is there's just a general mistletoe in the Liberal Dan chat where everybody can start making out with each other? Or should I save that for Liberal Dan After Dark? See, what else? What else were we going to look at news-wise? I mean, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, you wouldn't expect too much news to be coming out because most people are, either busy working at the stores that are working them on the holidays or spending time with their families. So apparently New York City is going to have like a huge snowstorm. Of course, Donald Trump, there's no Christmas miracle when it comes to Donald Trump not being a childish idiot as it pertains to him, tweeting out or truthing out or whatever it is. let's see. After midnight, the holiday spirit took another partisan political turn. President posted and reposted more than 100 times on his Truth Social website, in many cases amplifying messages disparaging perceived political foes. As Christmas Day broke, the president made it clear he is still captivated by his loss by Joe Biden in 2020. He reposted a message that called for Pam Bondi to ensure accountability by prosecuting Democratic President Barack Obama over the election. He's unhinged. He is absolutely unhinged. And, like, if you had responsible people, I guess that's the one problem with the 25th Amendment, is that the 25th Amendment basically requires the cabinet, the bunch of political appointees, to say whether or not somebody has lost their ability to, be able to be president. And because of that, now you have a situation where none of these people are going to want to go against Donald Trump because they'll fear for their jobs and or other things, and you'll never get the 25th Amendment done unless for some reason, there's massive support for it. But there's massive would have to be like, only Donald Trump says no and everybody else would have to have their backs. So, hey Nefarious, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey Josh, good to see you as well. See, wait. Kimchi, my repuke neighbor gave me his wife's turquoise jewelry. I feel that bad he got a gift basket. Nice. What's up, Belfast Bob? Good to see you as well. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Festivus, Merry Yule, etc., etc., etc. So, what else is going on in the news? Florida doing crappy things. After 20 years of Florida's gift ban, some would like to make a return. And it's years since its passage, the law has either been ignored or sidestepped in various ways, making it awkward for a legislator to accept token items such as a bottle of water. I guess that's not, I don't know why that's huge news, but it's probably something that they'll abuse the other way, right? Thank you, Belfast Bob. Again, I don't know how long of a show we're going to do today because I really don't have much material prepped. I really don't have much covered. So this is another bit of news. Maybe we're just going to kind of pick and choose through the news and see things that I might have missed, may not have covered these past, couple weeks, whatever. Chat about it. 19 states plan to sue or are suing to block Kennedy's plan to curb trans care. 19 states and D.C. sued HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his health department to block the Trump administration's plan to curb young people's gender-affirming care. Oregon's Attorney General Dan Rayfield said in a statement, the declaration falsely claims that certain forms of gender-affirming care are unsafe and ineffective. He said Department of Health and Human Services move threatens to punish any doctors, hospitals, and clinics that continue to provide exclusion from the federal Medicare/Medicaid programs. Joining Rayfield in the lawsuit are Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro, Democratic Attorneys General, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, yada, 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 yada. HHS spokesperson on Thursday referred to Axios to the department's December 18th statement announcing proposed funding ban in response to President Trump's January executive order banning federal funding and support for youth gender-affirming care. Of course, when the conservatives hear gender-affirming care and youth, all they think of is that they're, having surgeries, especially bottom surgeries, and that's not the case. Gender-affirming care is simply just perhaps even giving them therapy, allowing them to dress in the way that they want to dress, and yes, maybe getting the binders that we discussed the other day. It's ridiculous that they have to be that cruel, and they don't even realize, and maybe they do realize and they just don't care, or maybe they view it as a feature that the less amount of people, the fewer people who accept somebody for being trans when they're a kid, the more likely they are to commit self-harm. And so if you're okay with that, and to me it's clear as day that MAGA seems to be very fine with that, it's just disgusting and gross. So yeah, kimchi. What was everyone's favorite gift? Mine was the jewelry. My favorite gift. I have a I got a box from my wife that is a lock box that you can store certain materials that you might want to grind up and roll into stick that in your blunt and smoke it. So it's I forget what the name of the company is called or whatever. But yeah, it's it's a neat little box. That can safely store things away. So that was a nice gift. Not too much else that we gifted today, because again, it's been a kind of a lean year. But as old Donnie Boy says, I can't even play right now because the phone lines are on. There we go.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. Santa got me the same as last 3 years: sinus infection and illness. Ugh, I hate sinus infections. And yeah, hope you feel better soon. Josh, my wife, got me some Panama Red Seeds. Nice. Speaking of sinus infections, I remember this. I might have told the story before. Just a random story where, one time I went to the doctor when I was at University of New Orleans, and they had a health clinic. You can go in, and the health clinic or the health insurance on campus is cheaper than your standard health insurance, because certain things you don't need to pay for because it's included in your tuition. So, but I had the regular insurance through my work because I was working at Bennigan's or whatever, and they had Blue Cross, and I was like, I'm taking Blue Cross over the crappy school insurance plan, which you could only get like generics at the school pharmacy, which I didn't want to deal with. I know sometimes generics aren't as good, especially when I get things like sinus infections. So I go to the doctor, and I was like, I have a sinus infection. I think I need some antibiotics. And he looked at me like, who the hell are you? I'm the doctor. Shut up. And then he did all of the things that I did. He tapped my face or whatever, see if my sinuses were swollen. I was like, yes, that hurts. Looked at, at my nostrils or whatever, checked my throat. He was like, oh, look, you have a sinus infection. And he was like, I'll write you a prescription for Amoxil. I was like, can I have Biaxin instead? And he was like, well, it's not covered by the insurance in the school. I'm like, I don't have the school's insurance. He was like, okay, I'll write you a script for Biaxin. So basically, all I needed for him to do is just to fill out the form to say, give me Biaxin, and that's all I needed for that trip to the doctor. Obviously, I can't diagnose everything, but some might say, welcome to the world of women when it comes to that, because that one particular circumstance where I had a doctor doubting my own self-diagnosis of my problems are things that women, especially black women, face many times at the doctor. Saw it with my wife. My wife kept on insisting with her lipoma that there was something else there underneath the first one, and they're like, no, you just have one. It's just one. You only have one. And she's like, no, it feels like something else is there. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just something else there. No, you only have one. So they went in, and I've had a lipoma removed, and when it was getting around that time when I was expecting her to come back, I'm like, what's taking so long? I was about to ask a nurse. The doctor comes in and goes, well, it's going to take a little longer because we have to remove the second lipoma that was underneath the first one. And I was like, oh, like she said she thought she had? She's like, yes. So yeah. Big Hook, nobody has called in. If you want to call in, you are free to do so if you wish. But yeah, it is open for anybody. But yeah, lots of health outcomes would be better in this country, especially for women who are minorities, if we actually listened to them and empathized with them when they went to the doctor and told the doctor that they're feeling certain things. Shocking, I know. So, what else? See, Dawn, Kim T, my daughter, give me an MK black winter jacket. That's cool. Let's see. My daughter waited to the last minute and still got me stuff I mentioned I needed for the kitchen. Love practical gifts, especially in this economy. Yeah, I would love a new brisket. That's what I want. I want a new brisket, and then a guarantee that my oven isn't going to stop in the middle of the night because something happened. And we didn't even lose power. And I know we didn't lose power because the TV was still on that was left on there. So, here comes Big Hook. Hello, how are you today, good sir?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, we're still alive and well up here in the Great White North.
I guess
you
there's
know.
one thing we should be happy for. Apparently, there was one Harvard scientist or somebody who believed that that comet or some space object that was coming towards us and was going to pass us the other day, and he thought it was going to be an alien spacecraft with nefarious desires. And I mean, I guess if they had nefarious desires, they probably flew by, saw that we have Donald Trump as president, and were like, nope, they don't need any help destroying themselves. They're good. So. Anyway.
Well, there's always the argument of there isn't any intelligent life here. So,
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, that's seems to be the question a lot of people are asking these days. I don't know. It's hard to say these days. I have forwarded you stuff, but I'm kind of shocked at some of the stuff now that's finally getting revealed and redacted in the Epstein files. I mean, everything. I mean, people are figuring out how to get past the redactions as well as to
Right.
find out what they're doing. And like the cover up is immense. I mean, they haven't even given us what 0.083% of the files at this point. So
they've found millions, right? So, or at least 8
Yeah.
million more documents.
I mean, I don't know. What do like the whole thing is ridiculous at this point. Like the government seems like it's going to collapse at some point because he's just tearing down institution after institutions. The DOJ, so many employees have quit because they are embarrassed to do anything for this administration. So, I mean, anybody who's competent has pretty much left at this point.
And that's one of the frustrating
So-
things is one of the frustrating things is like, you know, you understand why somebody wouldn't want to work in that situation. You understand why somebody wouldn't want to have to put up with all that BS. But on the other hand, as we lose competent people, it becomes worse and worse. It becomes this administration becomes more and more unhinged, and people, you know, if you don't have the good people there to try and stop it, you know, how do
Yeah.
you stop it?
Yeah, but the other thing is that, you know, like the competent judges that are out there are like, yeah, no, this isn't going to fly. This shit doesn't work. You are showing up to court and you're unprepared, you're unprofessional, you know, case dismissed, case dismissed, case dismissed. Like, you should be ashamed of the stuff that you're putting in front of me and whatnot. And so, and the thing that gets me, and no offense, but your state is just shit.
Oh, it is.
I
No,
mean-
I live in a shitty state. It's
And because that's the thing now, they are sending, ICE has basically chosen your state as the default center to send the cases that they can't win to judges that are so shitty that they will entertain the bullcrap that these guys present
Yep.
as evidence of deportations. And you're like, and like, how on earth did all these fucking white supremacist, racist pieces of shit get into these positions? Like, is there like no qualifications required whatsoever for these people?
I mean,
Because-
I mean, when he was Attorney General, when Landry was Attorney General before he became governor, I mean, he was again one of the worst that I've seen ever. I mean, I don't understand how he managed to claw his way through law school and get a law degree and actually practice. It's just some of the things that come out of his mouth are bizarre. But of course, you know, we supposedly have a law in Louisiana that prohibits anybody who's governor from holding any other position in any other governmental position unless the law states that that governmental position comes with being, you know, the governor of Louisiana. Like maybe you would be like the head of the board of regents or for the LSU system or whatever. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it sounded good. But we had a ruling by Attorney General Jeff Landry, who said that a volunteer position wouldn't count as violating this law. And now, of course, magically he's governor, and he has this now what he's labeling as a volunteer position to be the special envoy to Greenland to try and convince them to do this stupid thing and join us.
Yeah. I mean, the one quality that I find with all these Republicans, as well as with Donald Trump, is that they all fail upwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they fail at the position that they have, and someone thinks, you know, he might be good at doing something actually even more important and actually requires qualifications and critical thinking skills. Let's put him in that position. You know, and they just, I don't.
Well, they've surrounded themselves with the party with the gullible people. They've got enough of their base who would just believe anything that they say. And so when they say, "Oh, this is the person you need," they're like, "Okay, yes, sir," and then they do that, and then that continues the constant screwing of this country by the conservatives who want to say how bad government is and then go serve in government and then prove how bad it is because they're so terrible at it. They don't know how to govern.
Yeah, but that's just it. Like they put these things out there, like what is it? The Kids Online Protection Act or something like that. I mean, they put these things out there that are so ridiculous and so vaguely worded, so as to be, oh well, you know, it'll be the same bullshit that the Supreme Court does. Oh, well, I think this is the interpretation that the people in the 1700s meant for the Constitution to mean and whatnot. And I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Right.
You're parsing words and you don't even know what you're saying. Right. And then on top of that, you're so vague that, you know, like if you were being graded by a teacher in primary school, you would get an F for this fuckery.
Hold on, gotta play an I Like Turtles because Jolie just super chatted $50. Thank you so much, Jolie. I love you too. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Hope you had a very good day. So thank you, Jolie. Anyway, continue.
Thank you, Turtle Toes. You know who you are, and I know who you are, and we know each other, and you know, I don't know how she does it. She just sort of makes things better no matter what, despite other people who try their best to make her life worse. But, you know.
I mean, Jolie is wonderful, wonderful people. I only wish that, you know, Jolie and Aaron and many of y'all just live closer so we can hang out, you know, more, not virtually. But, yeah, I would.
Aaron wants me to come up with a nickname for her, but for the life of me, I can't figure one out for her because I don't know that much about her. She sort of keeps it on the down low and, you know, outside of wielding the moderator axe and threatening people who misbehave and push the limits of decency. You know, I don't really know what to call her other than Aaron.
When you come up with one, I'll have to find a sound for it to play when so that just when you mention Turtle Toes, and I'll go, I like turtles. As of right now, we just have the air horn. We have like what I call the Aaron horn because I've played the air horn, and then once I play it, Aaron magically shows up, and it's happened several times.
Yeah,
it happens now and like crack up.
But back to the subject, which is that like at some point in time, even the maggots here have to be able to see through this shit and say, oh my God. And, you know, there's one connection that keeps coming back over and over and over again. And it's Donald J. Trump. He is in some way always connected to the Epstein files and all the shittery that went on. I mean, you have that one document that says that this one girl who was 13 years old and claims that he was present for the birth of her child, and then was present to watch her father-in-law throw the newly born child into Lake Michigan to drown.
Right.
And then it comes up to the point where you're like, and Donald Trump was like, yeah, they're having afterbirth abortions. And you're like, is it just coincidence that he says this stuff?
No,
or is it just,
they don't happen except for when he's there, apparently.
You know, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, you want to, this is like Satan worship stuff. You know, I
Well, I mean,
don't
they're
know
the ones
anymore.
that came up with the whole Pizzagate crap and all, you know, all the BS pertaining to that. And, you know, every conservative accusation is a confession. So when they accuse other people of doing things, you know they're doing it.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. At this point, the sanity of the population who permit this stuff to happen, and then on top of that, you have complicity amongst politicians, amongst law enforcement agencies. I mean, the FBI is operating with leg shackles and shackles and one hand handcuffed to a desk to the point where they can't do their jobs, you know, and the ones that are able to go out are the ones that are willing to go out there and perform these acts of cruelty to kidnap people off the street for the color of their skin or for having an accent that doesn't sound exactly to what they prescribe as being American.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, I just don't get it. And I'm sorry, I'm probably just completely destroying the Christmas mood, but like, this is what President Trump has brought to us as a Christmas present.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I call it MAGA porn, because they rejoice in this cruelty. This, you know, it's beyond words. Like, at what point do you even consider them human anymore? Because, you know, they look like humans, but they're not, because they don't act in ways that would be qualified to, you know, reflect humanity.
Right.
Or the better part, or at least the best part of humanity.
They were operating ICE was operating in Lafayette, Louisiana today on Christmas Day, trying to ruin the lives of people during Christmas. So, and as we've seen, you know, the amount of people that they pick up are not the bad hombres, so why ruin their Christmas Day if it's their holiday, right?
Well, this is what I was saying before. And you can't answer your door anymore, because guess what? They are pretending to be other people. They are going and trying to ask questions and whatnot. They'll say, oh, I just bought the house across the street. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Right.
Who the fuck are you? Oh, I have some questions about you and your neighbors across the street there and whatnot. I need to know. I want you to tell me everything about everybody in the neighborhood. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Go watch. People just need to go watch the old Saturday Night Live episodes with the land shark, where they knock on the door, Candygram, and then, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, you're just that land shark. No, I'm not. And then opens the door and there's the land shark eating their head off. And, you know, who would have known that ICE would use Saturday Night Live land shark tactics to, you know, try and make their way into people's houses.
Yeah, but then on top of that, like, who goes out there and kidnaps 10 and 11-year-old kids off the street?
That's why
Who does that?
That's why I was convinced when the child with autism that was missing a while back. I was like, I was half convinced that ICE took him, because, you know, what else? Why would I believe that they would act well if they encountered a Hispanic child that happened to, you know, be on the spectrum? So it's cruel. But they get off on the cruelty. Like, I was trying to think of, like, I wanted to make like a collage of conservative MAGA cruelty and just the faces that these people make. Like you had, like your Erica Kirk, when she, someone challenged her on that CBS thing that she was on, and she had just this look of just like, I want to murder you, and all, whatchamacallit, Caroline Levitt and the faces that she makes, as with the snide looks that she makes. There's either like an angry or a snide look, like the "I'm better than you" type thing, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's just if your face just turns that way by being so evil and hateful, or if the people that look that way are just going to naturally be evil and hateful. I don't know, but it's just I don't understand how people can be raised in such a way that enable them to have that much hate. It's just those lots of
but
failures
it's
on the parts of
generational.
parents.
But it's generational. That's the thing. They were taught 3 generations back to be these people.
Yeah.
And before it was like, okay, well then, like, for example, the Civil Rights Act came in, and all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we have to crawl underneath the rocks. We're allowed to mutter this stuff under our breath and put dirty looks, and if there's nobody around, maybe the occasional lynching or the disappearance of people and whatnot, and I mean, then on top of that, we have our law enforcement people who will go out there and exact revenge on our behalf by, persecuting and prosecuting these people with no justifiable cause, and then, the Supreme Court will back up our racism, our hatred, our inability to be decent human beings, and say, yeah, you have the right to be an asshole because it's the right thing to do if you haven't figured out that billionaires are the ones that are fucking you, not these people,
right.
And like they're incapable of critical thinking whatsoever. So like this was the thing that I was saying before about that fellow Jay there the other day.
Oh yeah.
He's not capable of being reached. He has convinced himself that, despite all evidence shown to him that what he believes is not true, he will just continue on. And at which point it's like you're beating the dead horse, and
Well,
that's the thing.
But when I beat dead horses like that, it's not for the benefit of the dead horse. It's for the benefits of the other folks who might be watching, who might catch it and be like, "Oh, this is why this person is wrong. That's why this is why you should stand up to them." That's kind of why I do it. But the thing that
I understand. I understand that.
Before I forget this part, the thing that that specifically told me with Jay from the other day that that an irredeemable person was the whole, when I brought up the whole idea of, if you saw a video of Trump doing this, the first thing they went to, well, it could just be AI. So again, you're going to just make more excuses. And I was just like, that's it. You're just not going to believe what you see simply because of the fact that, it might be AI, but you wouldn't do it, but they wouldn't do it if it was Biden. So it's a cult, and people who are fully fledged in the cult are we're not gonna have a very good time deprogramming them. That's for damn sure, and because they're not gonna want to. So
that's another concern of mine, which is that AI can be manipulated in such a way now that it can create false images as well as do a false narrative. Plus, if the person that's controlling the AI then puts false information or misinformation, or just, you could start AI, and I'm pretty sure this is what the overriding purpose of Grok is to start a civil war. And that's my fear, is that you guys are getting too reliant on it, and and you're just accepting the summaries without them showing sources as to how they came to that conclusion or anything. And then it's doing it. Not only is it manipulated because they control the algorithm, but on top of that, they're using 10 times the amount of energy that Google had before when you did a search.
Right.
And that's just it. Now, the one upbeat thing that I can say is that Mozilla Firefox has said that they're going to put out a new browser where you can opt out of any AI interaction whatsoever. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because if that means that I will get only Google results
Right.
based on using that browser, I am all for it. And that's the thing. Bankrupt the fucking hell out of these AI companies, because guess what? They're not your friends, despite what they tell you. And I'm sorry, but I think Hal Sparks is completely misguided with his confidence in that AI is the future and that it's going to help mankind, because there's no evidence that it's doing any of that stuff. You know? Yes, it's an effective toy for making songs and video clips and whatnot. But you know,
that's not what the nefarious people are using it for. Like, I mean, you know, that's the thing. The nefarious people are using it to be much worse than just, you know, making fun little songs and chopping up your videos. So,
and that's just it. You know, like, okay, yes, that's a toy. But if I wanted a toy, I could buy an Xbox, or I could buy a PlayStation, or I could buy a dirt bike or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what those things are for. This is just self-destructive. Oh, we're going to take all the knowledge of the humankind, and we're going to take a program that basically goes out and does predictions as to what words are put in front of each other's words, and then we're going to present it as intelligence. And it's like, all you're doing is basically, you know, looking at what's already out there and then basically wording it in such a way so that way it comes out as gobbledygook half the time. You know, and people are trusting in this stuff, and I'm like, why on earth would you trust it? I don't trust it.
right.
I don't trust it because I don't see it doing any good. It doesn't. I mean, sometimes it'll say something that's true, but it depends on the motivation of what the question being asked is. And that's the thing. Maybe I can trust it on certain subjects, but I can't trust it on all subjects, that's for sure. I certainly can't trust it to be politically nonpartisan if I ask it a question in such a way.
One of the things that I kind of used, like when I've searched like on ChatGPT or something, one of the things I've done is basically use like Wikipedia. Like, oh, I'm not going to use it as the primary source, but here are the other links that it can point me to, so I can see whether or not they're actually, you know, and get the actual information from the actual links and not from the initial argument that was, or post or text that was made. Because I've caught it being wrong myself, but I know that it was wrong because I knew the subject that I was searching about. So.
Yeah, but the deep flaw in Wikipedia is that people can self-edit it.
Right.
That's the thing. They can go and put what they think are corrections when in fact it's actually misinformation. And this is the thing, that they have teams of people in Taiwan who are constantly correcting Wikipedia against an army of people from China who are basically putting out misinformation about Taiwan. And, you know, the Taiwanese are basically trying to correct it. And it's an ongoing fight. And the thing is that Wikipedia hasn't decided or allowed one side to be there and then just make the you know, the material permanent and unchangeable, you know. And I mean, that's just it. If you have a constantly changing, moving landscape of, you know, facts versus lies, you know, what are you supposed to do? You lose your trust, you lose your faith in everything because you don't know what's real and what's not. And that's the thing. It is artificial, meaning it's not real. It pretends to be real. And that's why I don't like it. because it's not based in facts. It's based on, oh, here's some facts mixed with some lies, and then we'll see whether or not you take the bait and go with it. And it's like, and that's the thing. And there is no correction. They'll say, oh, yeah, no, you goofed up. Oh, yeah, I had an AI hallucination or whatever. And it's like, no. This stuff shouldn't be out there in the first place. You have people using these things and, you know, creating themselves whatever, boyfriends and girlfriends, AI-wise, and these machines are telling them to go and off themselves, commit suicide.
Now, I don't agree with that, but if we can get the incels and the red pill type, the men's going their own way, to be able to just go into their phone and have their own virtual girlfriend and leave all the other women alone, that's a plus, at least for those other women who are no longer being harassed, right? Thank you. And
Yeah.
first of all, hold on. Thank you, Jolie, for the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you as always. And also thank you, Chad, for the $20 super chat. So, okay, let's continue.
But you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, and that's just it.
I totally get your concerns. Like I have this, in my head of, where I'm kind of like, it's a tool that can be used, but it probably should also be regulated. And like, it's there are pros to it. There are definitely cons to it. And how do you increase the overall benefit to society while protecting yourself against the cons? That I don't see capitalism in any way, shape, or form, any capitalist interests who want to do AI. I don't see any reason for them to say, oh, but let's be responsible about it, because capitalism is never about responsibility. It's about profit, and that's it. So that's ultimately the problem. The ultimate problem is, like, I don't trust the corporations that are running these things to have them, have the best interest in heart, or not let their tools be used for nefarious purposes.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing. Like, for example, in the medical field, yes, it can be a very effective tool in pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that, yes, it might speed up a result. But the question is that, is there going to be a human to confirm that result and to make sure that the conclusion or the thing that it identified is truly what AI tells it is?
That's one of my points that I make a lot of times. When we started talking about Luigi Mangione and the offing of the healthcare CEO or whatever. Thank you again for another $20 super chat, Chad. The issue was, like, their insurance company, those insurance companies are using AI to determine whether or not claims should be denied or not. And my point on it that I made back then, and I've made this on other things too, is that there should be a human that looks at all denials. If it's approved, fine. I'm not going to have a problem with them approving stuff, and maybe they should, if they want to have quality control over approvals, and fine. But if it's denied, it should not be able to be simply denied just because you have a machine said so. You should have to have the denial because it's an actual denial that should happen. So when it comes to life and death situation like that, absolutely there should be humans involved. I've bitched and moaned about how a lot of times YouTube will have their people will make copyright claims against you when you're doing things like fair use, and it should be able to, if you have a positive yes, you violated my copyright, there should be some sort of mechanism in there to say, okay, now there's a human, here's the human to come check and make sure it's an actual violation or not. Like, machines are never going to get things 100% right, and when it makes a negative decision or a decision to the detriment of somebody, there should always be a human backstop to verify that it's actually the case.
But here's the other problem. They will. How can you sue an AI? That's the question. This was a question that Adam Conover brought about. He said, yes, I could get a computer program or an AI to do certain functions, like, say, for example, in accounting. But the thing is that I still need a human to be able to check over what happened, which means, yes, it can produce the results and whatnot, and it can show whatever. But in the end, the double check is always a human.
Right.
Now,
That's what it should be. At
I
least.
get the benefit. The benefit is that yes, it can do it. It has the speed of coming to the result a bit faster, but it still requires the human element there to make sure that it is correct.
And Hedge Enemy,
You know,
and Hedge Enemy in the chat made my point that I was going to make, is that there, at least at the moment, the AI is owned by a corporation. So you would then sue the corporation, of course, that can have, depending how much money the corporation has, depending how much money you can get out of it. So because corporations are considered legal people, except you can't kill them anyway. But
well, yeah, and that's just it. I don't. Like I said, on certain things, yes, where AI doesn't have a slant or a motivation to whatever lie to you, maybe it is okay. But I still want, in order for me to be able to double check its results, I still require Google.
right.
And that's the thing that I'm worried about, is that I'm losing more and more access to Google. And sources of information, as well as, where the information comes from, where the knowledge comes from, where, and I mean, that's the thing. And these people are having their content stolen,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not getting paid for it, and these data centers are just a scourge. They're completely overloading the power grid. They don't put anything back into the system. They're destroying large swaths of land that were previously used for producing food,
Right.
And they're polluting the water. And if
And
they're,
using,
they're not
using groundwater as well, so they're taking the water availability from other people as well. When I heard somebody say that there should be requirements where that water that is used by these companies should be, captured water and not groundwater. But that'll never
yeah,
fly.
but the thing,
with
but here's the
corporatists
thing.
in
Here's the
charge.
thing. When you put these conservative judges into place, who are like, yeah, I can be bought off, or I can, I don't use critical thinking skills when I make my decisions. The problem ends up being is that they allow this stuff, so that way these people who have more money than God can manipulate the system even further.
Right.
And that's the thing. I think the estimates are now the top 15% now own over 65% of the wealth within the country.
Sounds about right.
Now, how is that right? How the fuck is that right?
It's not right, but it's also not
So
sustainable.
we're looking at probably what? At most, maybe 15,000, maybe 20,000 people own 65% of the wealth of the whole entire country.
Yep.
Now
Because
that's fucking sick.
You get so top heavy. I mean, I believe that's the kind of sort of thing that led to, stock market crashes or whatever. So, and then things get even worse. So.
But the thing is that a lot of that money is pretend money because it's based on speculation. Oh, we think that the stock is worth this amount. Based on what?
Right.
Based on what? Is it a guess? Is it an accrued value? Does it actually have assets, physical assets that make up it?
That's just what people think it's worth. So they take the amount of shares and they take what the stock's selling at, and there's your valuation right there. So,
But how did we get to the point where we started believing that these cryptocurrencies are worth anything other than, imaginary numbers out on the internet that supposedly have value when in fact they don't?
Well,
Other than the fact that people were stupid enough to put their money into it.
Right. Well, I mean,
and there's no guarantee that they'll get their money back out of it.
Right. I mean, it's all speculation. I mean, that's all that is. It's all speculation. Like, I don't understand why we even allowed stocks to exist in the first place. Like, that's just rife for manipulation. Just, you know, because again, like, you had things like Amazon. Amazon was losing money, you know, left and right at the beginning, but their stock was trading so high because Amazon didn't care that they were losing money as long as they had lots of customers. And that's so they could sell the fact, oh, look at how many customers we have. It doesn't matter that we're losing money because we have customers, so therefore you should invest in us because we have a good long future. Turns out they did, I guess, because they're still in business and they're thriving. But still, the idea that, you know, you could be losing money and be seen as a valuable asset is just counterintuitive. So.
But you know what? You know what? One of the trending videos out there is right now. Massive layoffs. People are losing their jobs right, left, and center. These are people that contributed to the success of these companies for over 20 fucking years, and they're being let go without even a decent severance package. Not even so much as a thank you for your service or a pension or a gold watch or anything. You know, and I mean, this is just it.
Hell,
I was
having a conversation with my mom when I was out of town over the weekend, and we were talking about retirement, and she was like, "Do you have money for retirement?" I was like, "Well, I have money in a 401k," and she was like, "And you have a pension, right?" I'm like, I laughed. I was like, "Pension? What? Yeah, you had a pension back when you were working. You don't have. There's no pensions anymore. That's a thing of the past. That doesn't happen." So,
well, the only pension you have is for honesty. That's your saving grace. But you know, unfortunately, honesty is not a valued commodity so much anymore, especially where you live. Anyway, that's for sure. You know, no insult to you, but
right.
You know,
yeah, it's definitely being honest is not necessarily a good thing here in Louisiana in general, or hell in the United States at this point, because again, the liar in chief is, you know, loves lying, right? So,
can you believe that shit that came out of Landry's mouth there? He says, "Oh, I'm going to go to Greenland and I'm going to talk to these people and I'm going to offer them some Cajun food, our really good Cajun food." And I was like, what fucking horse shit is he talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like, we're going to win them over with food.
I love a nice bowl of gumbo. Don't get me wrong. I love a nice bowl of gumbo, but still, it's not going to make me sell my soul or want to leave a country that, you know, has, you know, good, you know, history on rice as said, become a member of the Trumplandia company. Because that's basically what we are now. We're not the United States of America. We're just like the Trumplandia Corporation. That's what we are.
Well, and I mean, then on top of that, what is it? I mean, Trump is still threatening to like the 51st state bullshit scam that he's trying to pull off with Canada. And it's like, fuck off. Like, we don't want to join your bankrupt situation. We've got universal health care. We've got affordable things. We have a pension system here which is, you know, working and isn't going to go bankrupt in the next 10 years like your system there, because you guys refused to fund it. Mm-hmm. You didn't up the limit. You went, 200,000? No, that's great. And it's like, for what? You guys haven't increased it for inflation. You haven't increased it for anything.
Right.
A billionaire only has to put $200,000 into the Social Security network and not more than that.
And that is absurd.
Explain that to me.
I can't, because it doesn't make any sense. They should be paying into it like everybody else. They should be taxed like everybody else. And not get a reprieve after a certain amount. Oh, you've made more money, so you no longer have to help contribute to the well-being of everybody else.
I get it. They're not going to draw from it. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have to contribute to everyone else's, because guess what? They have taken advantage of the system and made their wealth based on everyone else doing the work. and making the assets, the things, the goods that these people buy that are necessary to, survival in society. And I get it. Okay, like Texas Paul says, you can't get rid of oil. You don't realize it, but oil has uses other than for making gasoline and diesel. It's used in all kinds of other processes, and it's not going to go away. And that's a thing. And recognizing that is fine. But there are ways of fixing things,
Right.
And that's the thing. We can't have this conversation because people are motivated by greed over humanity and what's in the best interest of humanity.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like the Exxon CEO just said, "Oh, it's too late." And it's like, Frontline did a piece on them. They've known for over 50 fucking years that climate change was happening
Right.
at an exponential change. And they did nothing to make other people aware. They're as guilty as the fucking tobacco companies. They knew damn well their product was addictive and caused cancer.
Yep.
But they didn't care. It's all about the bottom line. Oh, well, I have to make 300 times more than any employee that we possibly produce.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know. And which brings about, like I said, Merry fucking Christmas, because this is what capitalism is built on, and now it used to be, it's all about family, friends, and realizing, the birth of Christ, which was supposed to be, an example by which we should live our lives. Be damned if I can see many people outside of yourself, myself, and like Jolie and all your listeners out there who actually practice what it's supposed to mean,
Oh, I agree.
Believe me, I'm steeped in crap. I got way more crap than I should have, but and at this point, I'm sort of at the downsizing point in my life where I'm like, oh my God, I got so much crap I got to get rid of, and I got to downsize, and I have to make it in a manageable way, so that way, when I get to the point where, I have to retire or whatever, or, live in a home or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it with me,
Right.
I can't take it with me. I have to, either put it forward to other people who can actually make use of it or whatnot, and,
But part of the problem,
I
though,
don't know.
is like, people like you and I who, will think like that, we can, understanding we can't play it forward, but you have the billionaire class out there where, sure, some of them are like, oh, they're giving away their wealth at the end of the life. Well, why'd you have to hoard it all at the first place and keep it from society during all the live long day? You could have been making contributions to society for, as you were gaining the wealth, and instead of becoming like a billionaire, just become a multi-hundred millionaire, and you'd probably be just as happy if you would have helped more people. So
yeah,
thank
but
you, Ali,
look at where it began. Okay, look at where it began.
Mm-hmm.
It began with Nixon, right? Because we let him get away with committing the Watergate stuff
Right.
without any repercussions, and so then we said, oh, we're not going to make an example of him because he will just live with the shame. And it's like, shame doesn't mean as much as you think, because if you've got a fucking psychopath, they don't feel shame.
Nope, they don't.
That isn't a punishment for them. In fact, that's a point of pride for them.
Right.
They want to be remembered as being a horrible person and having that notoriety of being that piece of shit that hurts so many people and whatnot. And that's just it. It's, and we keep doing it over and over again, George Bush. I mean, what a fucking piece of shit he was. And all the things that he did. And then all the laws that he then passed down to Donald Trump, who is now abusing, in the worst sense of the word, or even definition of the law.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And people say, oh, he's a war criminal. Well, I'd like to sit down and have a beer with him. He sounds like the kind of person I would enjoy having a beer with. You would enjoy having a beer with that piece of shit?
Hell, Donald Trump doesn't even
The
drink.
guy
So you wouldn't even be able to have a drink with him because he doesn't drink, supposedly. He has other vices like, Epstein.
No disrespect to your own podcast, but Some More News did a two-part piece on him. And it's just awful, the stuff that he did.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awful. All the people that he abused, all the people that he didn't help, the people that he did help, he was a racist piece of shit from beginning to end.
Yes, he was.
And he held the title for the longest while of being the worst president in American history. And what did we do? We elected somebody even worse.
Yep.
What does that say about us?
Not a lot of good things, that's for darn sure.
Yeah, I get it. This is supposed to be a time of celebration, reflection, of looking forward to a new year of happiness and
right.
Things that are possible, that we can fix, that we can build upon and whatnot. And honestly, I can't see it. At least not in the U.S. You're going to lose your health care. The economy's in the shitter. You got Gestapo agents going around arresting people right, left, and center. And now they're going out there and saying, oh, your passport and your birth certificate, I think they're fake.
Right.
Let's denaturalize you and send you to Louisiana, where a judge will rubber stamp your deportation, resulting in most likely your death, if not, bankruptcy.
I'm frankly
in a
surprised
country
Louisiana,
that you may not even speak the language of.
Yeah, I'm frankly surprised Louisiana hasn't already built a CCOT type detention facility for old Trumpy, and to make another concentration camp so that we can have domestically. I'm frankly surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. But do you know how disturbing it is that I have to have these conversations with you?
I wish we could be talking about happy things and how life is grand and how we all have universal health care and and things are doing wonderfully for everybody, but we live in a dystopia. So
the thing is that people will say, I'll just, ignorance is bliss. And I'm like, you can't ignore it. The more you ignore it, the bigger the problem becomes. And the even worse shit that becomes acceptable. And that's just it. Because we have allowed so much of this shit to fall away, and with zero accountability, you've ended up where we are now. You've got a mad king sitting in the White House who, has spent more days playing golf than governing, who, is spending, billions upon billions of dollars that used to be coming in as taxable income from the same people that he's deporting.
Yep. 'Cause he's not
And these
very
people
smart.
were willing to do it even though they got nothing from it.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get health care. They couldn't get unemployment. They couldn't qualify for so many things.
Yeah, when they use somebody else's social security number or a fake social security number, they don't get the benefit of the social security system that they're paying into. So,
You know, like, I don't understand it. Because that's the thing. The racists who are out there and that are the most loud are the same ones that were benefiting from the contributions of these people, whether it be going out and picking the fields or doing the work that nobody else would do, you know, working in the slaughterhouses, producing the food at substandard wages, you know, living in houses that were run down, you know, and providing rent to these same people who went, oh, they're illegal, deportable. Gee, I can't find anybody to rent my place anymore. They all disappeared. Can't figure out what happened.
and those people probably also loved that their renters were cash based, so they didn't have to declare anything, right? You know, they
Exactly.
they would take advantage of that.
So now they lost their lost their underground economy.
So even if they were able to find replacements, they're probably going to be replacements that are going to pay something that's not hideable. So again, you know, but again, bigotry always wins, and people will harm themselves if they, as long as they feel like they're not the worst people out there. As long as they can look down on one set of people, they don't look up to see who's really screwing them. So.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I'm guilty of it too. I buy things from China all the time. You know, but the thing is that, you know, I don't know what else to do. I can't afford things, you know, from other places that are, I mean, how much is a fucking iPhone these days? They're looking at over $2,000 now for the latest fucking iPhone. Who's got $2,000 lying around?
Well, they force you to get into the contract, so you pay it over time. That's how they get you.
Yeah, but then you're paying over $2,000 for it.
Right. So,
you know, like, I just don't get it. Honestly, Dan, I don't get it. I mean, you guys must be living off your credit cards to the point where, you know, you're going to bankrupt the nation again.
Oh, trust me, especially with all the crap that we had to deal with my mother-in-law's house or whatever. You know, we have some maxed out cards. That's for darn sure. It's and that's just with us. I mean, I can imagine other people who might have it worse than us, who are, you know, scrambling to try and get things paid. It's not pretty. And then I'm going to see my student loan payments go up, and then who the hell knows what I'm going to do at that point. So.
But you're garnishing wage. Someone said that Trump is going to now garnish wages from people who can't afford it.
Yep, they used to be able to, and then they stopped doing it in the pandemic. But he's going to go after he's going to start going after the student loan borrowers who are in default. And basically again start garnishing those wages so they make even less money to be able to afford anything else, because, you know, we're doing so great as a government under
SNAP
him.
benefits.
Yeah, and then they either take it out of your income taxes when you get your refund or whatever, or they take it from your wages, like up to 15% of your wages can be garnished. It's because, you know, these are the people that he's going to prop the economy up on the backs of the poor. Who are going to now be poorer under his regime. It's disgusting, and like the people he has in charge don't even understand how things work. Like, because they repeat the same thing. Oh, if you take a loan out, you have to pay it back. Well, first of all, there are plenty of loans that Donald Trump took out with his businesses that he never paid back because he could declare bankruptcy, and student loan borrowers typically can't have their loans discharged in bankruptcy, but the student loan agreements that we all signed include forgiveness options, ways that you can have your student loan debt forgiven, and they want to take that away from us. Basically, they want to be able to take the promissory note that we signed and say, fuck you, you don't get the benefit of what you signed. We're going to change the terms on you in what should be an illegal bait and switch, and would void any other contract except for these. So it's frustrating. I'm not looking forward to that.
I bet you aren't. I mean, I don't know, Dan. I don't. I'm shaking my head and looking at all that I have, and I'm thinking, man, I'm one hell of a lucky son of a bitch. You know? I am. You know? If anything, it's taught me to appreciate that my dad made the right choice when he moved up here to Canada in 1976.
Probably.
You know? And
Ali Osher in the chat goes, maybe humans don't insist or require change until it's terrible. Maybe. And then says, maybe the caller is just too logical. So there you go. You're logical. You're too logical there. Just a compliment. So anyway,
I heard now Trump, his latest scheme is he's going to try and take away dual citizenship so that way people can't leave.
I mean, there's dual citizenship is a weird subject anyway. Like what we consider a citizen and what somebody else considers a citizen should have no reflection on each other. Like, I'll try to see if I can word this better. Like, there are some things where somebody's like, we should make it so that nobody who's a citizen of another country can serve in Congress or whatever. And so basically trying to prevent dual citizenship. And then all another country has to do is say, oh, anybody who's a member of the U.S. Congress is now a citizen of our country. So congratulations, you can no longer serve. It's like an absurd statement. Like, as long as you follow the laws that we have, there's no problem with somebody who might be considered a citizen from some other country. It's how somebody acts and behaves will tell us who they're loyal to. Unfortunately, the people that too many people are loyal to at this point are not good people. So anyway, I'm probably getting a show soon. I have a couple things I want to do tonight before I head to bed. So any final thoughts?
Okay, no problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring down the mood, but I thought it needed to be said.
I'm glad you called in because I didn't have too much to talk about. So we had a good, a sort of normal, conversation of agreeing about how shitty it is. But, we were able to have a conversation about that. You brought up some things I forgot about too. So.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm able to make a contribution, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I only say these things because I care. I don't say them because I'm trying to insult anybody other than people who created the situation that you guys are all in right now, which is the unfortunate reality, because accountability apparently is just a word. It doesn't seem to have a function in society, at least where you guys live anyway.
People are going to start calling on accountability for the administration, and then Donald Trump's going to say, accountability, it's the new Democratic hoax. Like, yeah. I can only imagine that happened because he didn't know affordability was a word until then. Now he doesn't understand accountability either. So,
okay, well, I'll give you your show back. This is your platform, so you do what you do, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to say my piece and probably give voice to what other people are thinking as well. Anyway, take care, everybody. Merry Christmas.
But we're very happy to have you every time you call in, Big Hook. You have a great rest of your night.
You as well. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Big Hook, and we're probably just going to go ahead and apparently if I upgrade to Google Voice, paying $10 a month, apparently there's an option where I can actually have multiple people calling at the same time. So, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. So, we're not that point yet where I want to spend more money on stuff for the podcast when it's not necessarily showing that it's going to return in more revenue by having that functionality. So, Anyway, so that's pretty much going to be it. Again, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. Otherwise, Happy Festivus, Merry Yule, Happy Holidays to everybody who listened. Appreciate y'all. Don't anticipate being back on the air before Monday. Again, next week, we're definitely doing Monday and Thursday. I'll probably do the show Tuesday instead of Wednesday because of New Year's Eve and the Stranger Things thing at the theater that we're going to go see. That's just, I'll keep y'all informed about that too and see whether or not I'll probably let you know Monday whether or not I'm going to go live Tuesday or not. We will see. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay warm if you're in a cold area. Stay cool if you're in a hot area, because it's warm today in New Orleans. But anyway, y'all have a great night. Thank you so much. Peace.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run D.C. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, the child of today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason if Joe's the name is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds. Treating women like soil, just planting seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake. But the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights roll back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This
ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still, just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods.
Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator.
Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Sacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight.
Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator.
Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator.
The creative director at WGSO had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. Steve's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.